Alright, gotta look at 3 guitars today. 2 of them were done by us at my first guitar repair camp. And maybe I announced this, maybe I didn't announce it. It was on the Martin Forum anyway. It was back in May 20th. I held a guitar repair camp here in Angel Fire, and I got 2 guys in. I limited it to 2 people so I could spend a lot of time with them. Sam and Mark. And this is their guitars. We're going to look at them. It's taken me 2 months to finish them. May, June, July. 2 months to finish these 2 guitars up. We did the majority of the work in 1 week, but it was an intense week, and we worked from about 9 o'clock in the morning to about 8 o'clock at night every day. We really hustled. So this is Sam's guitar. This is a D35. It's the 70s. I'm not sure what year it is. It's a 73 or something like that. 362. And he bought this specifically for the guitar camp. I had seen it on Reverb. Somebody brought it to my attention. And anyway, he ended up buying it and having it shipped here. And it was his guitar for camp. It's just a standard D35. There's nothing really special about it. It's got a pretty good neck on it. It's got a slight V to it rather than the rounded neck. I find it to be a very comfortable neck. It has a little bit of a wood chip over here on the headstock, which is no big deal. It's just on the headstock, you know. Totally cosmetic. So we did pretty much the full overhaul on this guitar. We did Grover 18-to-1 tuners, bone nut. We did a full Evo refret. We did a neck reset. We did the popsicle brace modification. We put a maple bridge plate in it. Maple or black locust, I can't remember. But nothing, not one of the hot rosewood plates. I don't think. Anyway, we did the bridge plate. We scooted the bridge back to put it in the correct location. We used the stock bridge to do this. So the spacing is the stock 2 1/8 of an inch, which is perfectly fine. We left the pickguard alone because I like the black motif on this. I think we removed it and restuck it though. Now, this one has been replaced already. So it's already been removed and restuck, and so we just said, let's leave it alone. So in the process of the neck reset, I got a bone saddle. And that's about it. And probably every back brace was loose on this guitar. The inside, you got to really check the back braces on the D35s. For some reason, they come loose more than the 28s. And so I glued up the back braces before he showed up. I did do a few things on it. So anyway, this is it. First time I've actually played it. First time he hasn't even heard it. And so we're going to give a little playing demonstration on it. And then we're going to get Mark's D28 out and talk about it. And then I've got another customer's guitar, which I believe is an HD28B, which I worked on several years ago. The bridge came loose, and he sent it back to me, and I re-glued the bridge, and we'll talk about that when we get to it. So this is just a little bit on the D35, and then I might play some more at the end of the video, you know, just to play the guitars. So everybody asks about the strings. So what kind of strings? What kind of strings? What kind of strings? Diodario, EJ17s. Okay? Sounds good. It's got some good snap to it. It's got a regular size sound hole. We didn't enlarge the sound hole. You know, you can do that later if you want to. I think it's got enough treble to it. Yeah, I like large sound holes, but it's certainly got good bite. It's not muddy and overly bassy like stock D35s tend to be. Nice. Okay, let's take a look at the 28. This is Mark's D28, and it is serial number 258. So that puts it in the early 70s, doesn't it? Maybe 71, 72. He's had this guitar for quite a while. It came in and has a headstock break back here, which I glued before we did anything. I used fish glue on that. And he said it hadn't been causing any problems, but when I got it, it was open. So it was pretty easy to just get some glue in there. I actually used hot fish glue because it runs in a little bit better. So I just heated it up with a heat gun, get it really, really fluid, run it in there, and what you do is you kind of open the clamp, crack. You clamp the crack and open it and clamp it and open it. And what that does is squeezes the glue back and forth. So when you get squeezed out this way, you're also getting squeezed out in. And if you do that a couple times, when you open it up, it tends to draw the glue in there. And so I did that and clamped it up, and it looks really good. It's been strung up for months. I think he sent this to me in, maybe January. Because he sent it to me before I announced the camp. And then I said, well, let's just work on your D28 while we're here. We'll work on it. So this one I fixed the headstock. Well, I glued it anyways. It's got Grover 18-to-1 tuners on it. And they did this stuff. They did a lot of this stuff under my supervision. Like on Sam's guitar, I did that one a lot of times and then turn them loose to work on their guitar. So I'd start, maybe do two of the tuners, and then cut them loose to do it, because that was the whole point, to learn how to do it. Whatever. Okay, so it's got 18-to-1, got a bone dot, it's got a full Evo roof wrap, it's got a neck reset on it, popsicle brace, either maple or black locust bridge pad, I can't remember, because we went back and forth on both the guitars on the same hour. So there was a lot going through, and I haven't looked at it. Whatever we decided is what we did. See the black locust and maple, and I can't remember. I made a new bridge for it because the other bridge was cracked, and I think we went to 2 1/4 inch spacing on this. Again, that's one thing we were back and forth over, and it feels like 2 1/4 maybe, but I could be wrong on this. But I made the bridge and made it to fit into the footprint, even with it scooted back, so it's just a tiny bit oversized. Cut a long through saddle in it, long vintage saddle. It's got, of course, non-slotted white pins. It's got a Holter pickguard made by Taylor Mullins, great pickguard. We scalped the braces. Did I say that? We scalped the X braces, popsicle brace, checked all the back braces, did all that stuff. This one has really interesting Indian rosewood. We discussed this rosewood a little bit because it doesn't look like the typical pepper speckled early 70s. This one's got a real flame to it almost. It's a very cool looking wood. Hopefully we'll get it in the camera. It's dark over there. I can see that. And sorry about that. I can see the camera's not getting much light, so it's hard to get. Let's see if we can get it. Maybe I got it. Anyway, it's pretty good. Man, my light's coming from here. And I realize just now that I went to the Los Alamos shop and I got light in my face, which makes a big difference. So this light's kind of side lit. And I've noticed that in these videos that this side of my face is dark, even though I have a light right here. Anyway, it is what it is. So, neck reset. Got a lot of sound. This one's great, So, let's see what it sounds like. It's got a nice V-neck. It's a typical 70s D28, This one may have light gauge strings. I can't remember. They feel lights. One thing about having the guitar for 2 months is it's given the bracing, the scalloping a chance to kick in, and so I was able then to do the setup, the last setup, with the settled in guitar. So in other words, if I had done the setup and then shipped the guitar off, and then 2 months later, the action goes up a little bit, then we got to deal with that and everything. So the longer I have guitars, the better setup they tend to be, just simply because they have time to settle in and everything. So like I said, I didn't get around to actually doing the final setup on this guitar until this week. So we did the majority of this on May 20th, and it's taken me until this week to get the final setup done. Just been busy. I'm gonna have a video on that pretty soon too. So, all right, it's a good 70s D28. Got a great neck on it. I was gonna say that. Got that nice chunky rounded V neck, and yeah, it's good. I like my D28 because they're the shop D28 because it's beat up a little bit more than this one. Mine's got scratches and all that. This one's got some pretty good finish checking in it. It's got a pretty top, So I just haven't bonded with it because it's not mine, but it's got a nice neck. It's a good guitar. That rosewood is interesting. I can see the pepper speckles now that I have it over here in the light and I'm looking at it, but it's really, really contrasty. It's really black, really dark, and there was some question whether it's Brazilian. I can tell it's not Brazilian, but it's pretty cool, unique looking rosewood. And the funny thing is the shop guitar is not a typical 73 either. It's got real dark rosewood to it. It didn't have the pepper sprinkle, the light colored stuff. So anyway, it's a good guitar. It's not too bassy. It's not boomy. It's not woofy. It's got good bass on it. But the mid-range is also really nice, And these strings have probably been on here since I got it, so these strings are not crisp and lively like the D35s, which I just put on 10 minutes ago. Even so, I'm not listening to the zing of the string. I'm listening to the tone and the balance of the guitar, and you can tell that in spite of the string. And your mid-range isn't going to change because of the newness of the string. It's just going to sound zingier, that's all. In fact, I prefer dead strings because they sound more like the wood of the guitar rather than strings. I don't really like listening to strings. I like listening to the guitar. So nice balance. Again, this is the first time I've really heard it, Sounds good. Let's take a look at the HD28. Let me see. HD28V. This belongs to another Mark from New York, I believe. I worked on this one in, I think, 2017, I think he said. And did a couple things to it. I didn't do the full job on it. I shaved the back braces in, but I did not do the popsicle brace, and I did not finish the scallop for some reason. I put Waverleys on it. Yeah, these are Waverleys. I did a bone nut. I did some other things. I think you said it to me because the bridge was coming off the first time or something. I don't remember, but yeah, I think that's right. Because it says so in the spec sheet that the bridge came off once already. HD28s have a problem with bridges sometimes. HD28V has a problem with bridges because if you watch my maybe 2 videos or 3 videos ago, I had another HD28V of about the same age, and the bridge just chronically kept coming off. And finally, it was cracking, so I just made a new bridge for it and glued it down, and so far it seems to be okay. But the V's have a thinner bridge. They tend to have a thinner bridge from top to bottom, it seems like, because this one's the same. This is an average, thickness, but it's not as, it's different from an authentic. Let's just say that, okay? They're a little bit bigger. They're a little bit funnier looking. They're different. They're a different look. So on this one, I re-glued the bridge. I did the popsicle brace this time. I finished the scallop, and what I mean by finishing the scallop is what I've said before, is the scallop on these forward X brace. The scallop on these starts about 1.5 inches back from the corner of the X. So the corner of the X is right here. The X is right here. And the scallop doesn't start till it gets back here. What that does is it puts a stress riser right underneath the bridge, and it makes the bridge tilt up. Because if you think about this, if you took a piece of wood that was straight and cut a notch in the middle and then put some tension on it, it's going to snap right there. That's a stress riser. So if you take that notch and you extend it a little bit and you extend it a little bit more so that you have straight bracing and then like a little dip like this, and bend it, it's going to snap right there. That's a stress riser. Puts a lot of stress into a smaller area. So when you don't scallop all the way to the X, what happens is that you end up with a stress riser basically from here to here on the top, which is where that curve does come in. And I have just found that on HD28Vs, on all the HD28s, if you finish the scallop, then what happens is you get a smooth curve all the way from the X. Smooth curve. And then when you bend it like this, the whole thing bends, you see. The whole thing flexes like it should. So it would be like if you took the stick and made, if you took a yardstick, I use a yardstick all the time in my examples, and there's no notches in it, there's no cuts, there's no weak spot in it, and you can sit here like this and you can bend it. You can take an arrow and you can bend it because there's no weak spot. In fact, that's how you test arrows. You test carbon fiber arrows that way, and if there's a weak spot, it's going to snap immediately right there. But if it's not weak, you can bend those things like crazy, you see, because there's no stress riser in it. That's the principle of all this. Plus, it's a little bit more like the Authentics and the GEs and all that, which have the fully scalloped braces all the way across. So I did that to this guitar. I made a new saddle. No, I glued this one in. This is the saddle that came with, and I just glued it in a little bit more firmer because it had come loose a little bit. I used super glue on it this time and glued it in. On this one, I did not scoot it back, but I recut the slot, and it comes pretty close to the low E here. Let me show you. You can see how close the low E comes to that pin, and then what we do on this pin is we turn it around so that the low E actually goes into the slot. It's a little bit of a steep angle. I am going to lower his action just a little bit. And when I do that, the saddle is going to come down. Otherwise, it's perfect. I've probably done a neck reset on this guitar at one point. I think I can see evidence I've done a neck reset on it. So, anyway, H228V. Right away, you can hear the woof that I talk about, because the 35 is not scalloped. The other 28 is only partially scalloped, where I have only the extra scallop. This one is fully scalloped from the factory, and they do a great job on the tone bars. But you can hear that woof, boom, 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 on the mid range of it. Listen again. Let's see. Right there. Right there. You can hear that percussion. There it is, see? can hear that percussion come through the notes. Better with my hand. You don't hear that in my scallop D28. You hear more of a snare drum sound, and this is more like a, I don't know my drums very well. This is more like a tom or something like that, one of the deeper ones. This has got the boom, boom, boom. And you hear it in the notes. You hear that percussion there. You hear it in the rhythm, which is good. I like it in the rhythm. It's not a bad thing, but it tends to boom out a microphone. It tends to make the microphone, and consequently, I don't think these record fine with a studio microphone, but in a live microphone, directional condenser with a small diaphragm, they can woof them out a little bit. They can be hard to mic, and a lot of times you find it on stage use, you'll have to EQ out a note or something or another. So because of that woof. The woof also seems to make, to me, the notes a little bit less clear and tends to blend them in together, which is what makes it great for rhythm. But for lead, what I feel on this one versus the D28 is that the notes blend in together a little bit too much. I'm not quite getting the clarity that I really like. But it works really good for rhythm. And it works good for cross-picking, this stuff. It sounds really good there because you're playing rhythm with the notes on top of it. And so I'm not criticizing it one way or the other. I'm just saying there's pros and cons to both ways. And as a more of a lead, flat picking kind of guy, I tend to lean towards the clarity side more than I do the woofy side, because I've had guitars before that were too woofy. I had a D28 1935 Special, which was a guitar of the month in like 1993, and it was awesome rhythm. I mean, gosh, the rhythm in that thing was woof. But when you went to play a lead, a break, you were gone. You were gone in the mix because it didn't have any cut whatsoever. When you played it by yourself, it sounded tremendous. It was just like all this sound, but all that sound didn't have any focus to it. And so when you got into a band with that guitar, you were gone. And it was a terrific rhythm sound, laid down that rhythm, but your leads were, it was the quietest lead guitar I've ever had. So I sold it after I got my Collings Clarence White, which was a terrific guitar, which was the opposite, because that guitar, the Collings Clarence White Brazilian Adirondack, Collings made with wood supplied by John Holman. I mean, they were special guitars. They had unbelievable lead cut, but I could never get any kind of woof at all out of it. It was just so clear, and it needed to have the woof turned in just a little bit. And so it's a great guitar. I played it for 7 years. It's my only guitar, really. But I eventually sold it when I got the Prue. The Prue had it all. Anyway, that's the woof in the cut business, And this is good. I'm not criticizing it. This is a tremendous guitar, and I bet a lot of you are going to prefer it over all of the other three. Because it's nice. It's got a great rhythm sound. That's nice. That woof really comes in the rhythm where you get the percussive drum sort of thing. So really good rhythm. And the woof also comes in when you do that rake that I do. When you do that little rake across it, the whole rake thing is a percussive deal, you know. And you want to do that rake and hit that note at the end and pop the note out just like that, you know. Percussion really adds to that, and you know. You know, like that. Yeah, that is percussive, you know. You need that. So, man, this is good rhythm. This is great guitar. So, don't get me, yeah. I do like that. Really good. These H228Vs, I think, for a guy looking for the can't afford an authentic, and maybe doesn't like the authentic neck, because there's not a single authentic out there that has a really good neck on it. The 41A is tolerable, you know, but it's nothing like this neck. If I put this neck on the 41A, it would be a step up in improvement. So for a guy that can't afford an authentic, and you know, then what? Then what's on the line? Maybe I have not played the reimagined or the modern players or any of the new ones or anything like that. I don't know what kind of necks they have on them. Haven't laid them in my hands. I have that CS Bluegrass 16 that has the MLO neck, and I love that neck. I love that guitar. But a lot of people don't like that neck, but I like it because of the wider bridge spacing, because of the large sound hole, because of the Guatemalan rosewood, and all of those things. And the neck is pretty good, and I get along with the neck really good. But I like GE necks too, where they have a little bit more of the chunky V. So, you know, again, it wouldn't kill the CSBG 16 if it had a GE neck on it. But it's got a pretty good neck. But the point of all that is, you got a guy that you know, can't find a good authentic, doesn't like the neck on it. You know, and then what? He wants an 11/16 neck, wants a good basic Martin Dreadnought scallop brace. Man, H228V is the standard, in my humble opinion. You do a couple of modifications to it to push it more over towards that authentic territory. And, you know, the cost of those modifications were $75 for popsicle brace, $60 to finish the scallop, $75 to shave the back braces down, $40 for pins, $300 added onto it. And if you need a neck crescendo fresh, you take care of that. But you get a guitar like this, and I guarantee you, if this was my only guitar, I absolutely 100% could live with this guitar forever. So, to me, H228Vs with a little bit of modification to it, great guitars. So, super nice guitar. I've liked every one of them I've played. And the necks are so nice. Necks are great. I did pick guard on this one too a long time ago on the first time it came back to me. So, he wants me to lower the action a little bit, but I don't know, man. I'm going to check it again to see. Feels pretty good. It can come down just a hair. Can't play it too hard then, but, you know. Bridge is still stuck on, so that's good. Bridge looks really good. Nice. Yeah, that's nice. I like that rhythm sound. Wow. Okay, let's quit doing that and let's play something. Let's play this. play much. Okay, so there's the 3 guitars. Man, I'm shipping them out of here. Then after that, I've got two guitars from a vintage guitar company in Kansas City. A 44 that I did that ebony truss rod on, and then a 60 something or another. I'm doing neck resets on them, and that's it. And then I got 170s that I got to finish from guy that I did 2 other guitars. He sent it to me, and I haven't even touched it. And so I've got 170s to do in the shop, and then that's it. And then the bad news here is that after I work on that one, that's it. I'm taking a serious break. I'm not gonna work on any guitars for a while. I don't know how long. I'm sure it's not gonna be forever, but yeah, I have to take a break. If you watch my channel at all, you know that I spent the last year and a half battling the air conditioning system in that building in Los Alamos. And that was the worst year of my life. That was so much stress, so much stress. It just exhausted me. And I thought, well, I have air conditioning now, but it's still not working 100%. I'm still doing some things, but we couldn't diagnose the other problems until we had the other problem fixed. So it's exactly like a car. This system is exactly like a car. It uses a cooling tower on the roof, which would be your radiator in your car. It brings water out from the motor, brings water from thing, and it cools it down and returns the cool air back into the system. So basically what we had was a broken radiator, and we couldn't diagnose the rest of the problems in the car till we had the radiator fixed. So now the radiator's fixed, and now I realized that, to use the analogy, I realized that the fuel pump is bad, and the air compressor is bad, and the fan needs replacing. So, there's still more work to do on this building to get it out of the apart. But I thought when I got air conditioning that it would be such a big relief that I'd be able to take a breath and get a lot of energy back. But I didn't. I got exhausted. So it's been 2 months because the air conditioner actually got put in the week of guitar camp. And I had to schedule guitar camp, sometime, so everybody could get their plane tickets and we could get scheduled and do all this thing. And so I scheduled it for May 20th. And I swear, May 20th was the date we had to put that air conditioner in. So I'm over here doing the guitar camp. The air conditioner's going in, which my people did it and did a great job on it, thank God, because, that was just been more stress if I'd been there. So we got that in. But then I had to go back immediately. My guys left on Saturday, and on Saturday evening I was back in Los Alamos because I had to put things back in the roof, and I had to do the system, and I had to undo all of the work that I had to do in order to make us survive not having air conditioning for a year. So, I had to take the return air vents, and I had them clogged up because I was using portable ACs, and you had to stop those things out to keep them from sucking hot air back down. So I had to unclog all of those and uncover them all, put all the return air vents up, take all the portable ACs, put them up, 19 of them, Take them all down, put them up, turn on all the individual AC, HVAC units in the roof. There's 19 of them. Find out which ones weren't working. I mean, it was just another 2 weeks of solid work. The fact that it took me 2 months to finish those guitars says something. It's not like I've had a flood of guitars coming in. I've got 2 guitars in from the vintage guitar place, and that's it, I've had a couple of walk-ins and things like that, but they were in and out the same day, so not a big deal. But, they're just the stress of doing this and then having to deal with people's guitars is like, I'm not going to get to it. And then constantly, are you taking new work? I can't, I just cannot take any more guitars. So I'm going to finish the 170s that I have left as my sole focus. That's it. All I'm going to do is focus on that one guitar, get it done, and then I am done. No more guitars until I recover. It's PTSD is what it is. You go into stress for that for year and a half, maybe even 2 years of getting the building going on, and then it goes away, and you're just like, poof, you take a big breath, and you're exhausted. I mean, I really feel it. So, there's 3 guitars out of here. Finish up the 2 vintage guitars. They're gonna get out of here, and then that 170s. That's it. I am gonna sit around and play though. It's not so I'm gonna use my off time wisely. At least I'm gonna play my guitars a little bit and learn how to play guitar again. Banjo's coming along good, even though nobody wanted to see the banjo videos. Banjo's coming along pretty good, and it's just been fun. It's actually sitting around and actually playing my guitar once in a while. I have a little bit more time when I'm not working on guitar so much to sit around and play it. I've really enjoyed playing the CS Bluegrass 16. I've been playing it quite a bit. It's really spoiling me because it's a 1 3/4 inch in the wide bridge spacing, and it's so nice to have that back again on a guitar. I've been playing that one quite a bit. I've been playing electrics a little bit. I don't play electric. I'm not a very good electric guitar player. I'm not a rock and roll guitar player. Never have been. But I really like playing electric with the metronome and set up a drum track, and I play with the drummer. And yeah, that's fun because you can just, when you're playing with the drummer, you can leave these big massive holes in the space, and you can play with the space, play with the timing of the drummer. And I don't play anything. I just sit around and play blues licks. Play rhythm on it. It's very relaxing. I don't have a single song that I play. I have pieces of songs and stuff. But anyway, so I will play guitar. That kind of thing. So I'm sure sooner or later I'll get the urge to work on it because I did take a break for a year and a half there when we sold the ranch, and that was a huge turmoil. I've had back-to-back turmoils. There are 5 main stressors in the human life. I've had all of them in the past 10 years. So, yeah, it's exhausting. So I'm going to sit down and play guitar. But anyway, I took a year and a half off, and I did pick it up again after people started saying, man, my dad's 70s guitar, it's been in the closet for 5 years. Nobody's playing it. I said, well, all right, send it in, and I can't promise you when it's going to get done. It may get done in 5 years. And I got them done fairly often, and then I started getting guitars, and then we got back in, then we got back into the authentics, and then we got into this and that. I only took interesting guitars there, nothing from the big G's there, but I'm sure I'll get back to 70s again, because I do like working on 70s, and I do like working on these, but it's going to be super, super limited, I guarantee you. All right.